Unlike religion, atheism is not an allegiance. It's just a trait people have in common. Let's do this. Let me ask you something. If you're in some sort of team or a club of some kind, is absolutely everybody else in some other club or team? Is anyone who's not on your side on an opposing side? No, of course they're not. Some people aren't even playing the game in the first place. And see, that's all atheism is. People who aren't playing the religion game. People who aren't on God's side. We may not be aligned to a religion, but that doesn't mean we're all allied to each other. And yet, just the other day, some jerkwad tried to get me, as an atheist, to take responsibility for Stalin's atrocities against religious people when he was setting up his godless communist regime. Now look, let me state at the outset that I do not approve of a lot of what Stalin did, and had it been within my power, and if I'd even been born yet, I would have tried to stop him. And if religious people are going to stop believing in God, I want them to do it because they got a clue, and not because they were forced. That said, though, what Stalin did is not my responsibility as an atheist. You see, unlike those of you who join a religion, atheists are not part of something. We don't have an allegiance. We haven't joined anything. As atheists, the only thing we are is not religious, not God believers. There is nothing about atheism that binds us together. In fact, the only instance I can think of where lacking belief in a God draws people together is in self-defense against religious misbehavior. This is in contrast to joining a religion. You're all bound together by a common set of beliefs, by a common set of dogma, by an organization that you've joined. And if one of your number commits an atrocity in your name, it's your responsibility to police your own, or you all accept the blame. I'm sure some of you right now are crying that this isn't fair. Why do atheists get to be treated differently? Well, it's because we are different. We're not some anti-religion. We're not some mirror image of your faith. We're just people who have no God belief, and that's it. Like I said, atheists band together in self-defense against religious misbehavior, and for pretty much no other reason. People who don't believe in God are certainly not responsible for the behavior of other people who don't believe in God. Not unless you also think that, say, people who aren't fans of Star Wars are responsible for the misbehavior of every other person who isn't a Star Wars fan. Which is, ridiculous. Because that's all atheists are. We're just not in God's fan club. That's it. Until next time, fellow space travelers. Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot. You know what they all had in common? They didn't rate, comment, or subscribe.